And this is a pretty exciting one, and I think it's something every membership or directory website owner can take actionable steps on. It's how to re-engage our inactive members. And David, if it's all right, I'll pass it over to you. We can go over this tip of the week and identify what are inactive members and some steps we can take to mitigate and bring them back and re-engage them to the site.
Yeah, we've talked about churn rate in a couple previous webinars. That's really just the number of cancellations that we have. But we haven't gone into too much detail about how we can really try to get ahead of the curve and prevent inactive members from eventually canceling. So that's what we'll be going over here in this webinar. First, if we just go over the basics, this is probably pretty self-explanatory here. But the cost of losing active members, obviously we would lose out on potential revenue if we're going to be charging them subscription fees, upselling them for maybe purchasing leads, paying to publish posts, or if we're selling any other products and services to our members. It would also lead to reduced engagement and activity on our website throughout our community as a whole. Overall, it would lead to an increased churn rate. Like I mentioned, that's just basically the number of cancellations we have. And it would ultimately be costly to acquire new members just to replace the members that we've lost, let alone try to continue to grow. So we really want to try to get ahead of the curve here. If we can identify any inactive members, there's a good chance that they'll probably end up canceling at some point in the future. So if we can identify them ahead of time and proactively reach out and try to bring them back in and reactivate them, that's the goal here with this tip of the week.
Yeah, I think I've read or I heard somewhere the cost to acquire a new member is 10 times more than the cost of trying to keep a current member on board or something like that. But it's definitely worth our time to keep our members active and engaged in our site. We should always be looking for new members, but it's more affordable to try to keep our existing members than seeking out newer members. The customer acquisition cost is higher for new members than trying to retain existing members. So always keep that in mind.
Absolutely. So a few strategies to try to re-engage those inactive members. First, we need to be able to identify who the members are that are inactive. There's a bunch of different ways to do this with various tools, but specifically within your BD website admin area, there's two really easy ways. When we're searching through our members, we can search based on profile completion as well as the member's last login date. So, we could do a search to see which members haven't logged in within the last 30 days or 60 days. And those might be members that we would want to proactively reach out to try to bring them back in. We can do that by sending out some re-engagement emails. We have a slide and a couple examples also for these types of emails, what to include, but essentially they would just be personalized emails, probably with some sort of incentive to try to bring that member kind of back into our website and to our community. But I think an important point with this is still making them personalized. We can use a template. We can send pretty much the same thing to all of these members, but something as simple as including a variable like for their name. So we're addressing them by their first name. And then maybe also if we've identified all of the members who haven't logged in since, say, January, we can say, hey, we noticed the last time you logged in was January, or we haven't seen you since January. That, even though it seems something simple to us, to the member reading it, it might make the email seem more personal. Like I mentioned, we can incentivize members. This really depends on your community, your services, and what you're offering to your members. But some basic things that we can offer to members to try to incentivize them to come back to our website: offering promotions or discounts, even offering credits. If you have the member credits add-on, we can provide them with maybe 10, 20, 50 free dollars in credits that they could apply to their membership fees, purchasing leads, paying to publish posts, anything like that. And then the last thing, we can either ask these inactive members for feedback, why they haven't revisited the website, why they're kind of drifting away, or if we've already heard from our members about certain features or improvements that they'd like to see either with the website itself or our offering in general. If, maybe they'd like us to provide them with some other sort of service. We can try to do our best to implement these updates and improvements, because if we know some of our members are asking for this stuff, then some of our new members would most likely benefit as well. So if we can implement some of these things, that could hopefully help us in preventing members from becoming inactive and ultimately canceling.
And let's take a quick look. These are great points here. Let's take a quick look at this top one here and creating a segmented list of inactive members. Let's take a look at how to do that with last login. So if we go to the admin area here, I'll start from the dashboard real quick, and then we'll go to the search members page. And from here, we can create a smart list of members that say have their last login date was like a month in the past or further. So right now it's March 1st, 2023. Let's say we want to find all the members who haven't logged in. Their last login was basically all of last year, 2022. So from January 1st all the way to December 31st. So their last login was basically at the turn of the new year. Let's search for these members. Again, this is a demo site. I don't exactly know out of these 99 members who would fall under this, but we have 44. So we have 44 members whose last login, here we can see here, their last login was December 4th, 2022. So it's more than 60 days that this person hasn't logged in. This person hasn't logged in since April 12th, 2022. So we could safely say these are inactive members. So what we would do is we'd create that last login date search. We do that search, and from list actions, we can create a smart list, and we'll call it no login, or last login was in 2022. Just some nickname that we can, and we'll call these inactive members. So we create that smart list, and then we can export that smart list. We can send newsletters to that smart list. We'll cover that a bit more, but that's how we can identify them. So we can do a search here, and then of course the complete versus incomplete profiles as well. We can simply create an incomplete profile search, and then create a smart list from that as well.
Awesome stuff. And so, like I mentioned, some best practices for these re-engagement emails that we can send out to these inactive members. First things first, the subject line, the first thing any of us see when we receive a new email, we want to make sure it grabs their attention, sparks some interest, some curiosity, evokes some sort of emotion. We all get spam emails. Most of us, I know myself, typically just delete them as soon as I see it without even opening it. But occasionally, I'll get some sort of automated email or newsletter with either a unique subject line, or it makes me smile. I think it's, maybe comes out of left field, a little goofy, whatever it may be. It'll at least entice me to open it up and at least see what's in there. So it doesn't have to be anything too unique or robust or take too much, put too much thought into it. We just want to pique their curiosity and evoke some sort of emotion, instead of just being super dry and bland. The other thing, like I mentioned, personalizing email content, super easy way to do that is just by including a variable in the email template to include the member's first name. And again, any other relevant information that we can include while still, making our lives pretty easy and not having to manually craft each and every one of these emails. But another simple one would be, if we're going to be reaching out to all members who last logged in, say in December, then we can mention, hey, notice that the last time you logged in was December. That makes the email seem a little bit more personal and less generic. We also want to create a sense of urgency in these emails with clear calls to action and deadlines. So if we're going to be incentivizing them with some sort of offer or promotion, free credits, whatever it might be, we want to give them some sort of deadline. So we could say, email us back and log in within by the end of the week to take advantage of the special offer. Even if they don't, get back to us within that week, maybe it's 2 or 3 weeks from now. Our goal isn't necessarily to make money from them right now. It's to prevent them from eventually canceling. So even if they miss that deadline, we should probably still offer whatever incentive it was that we were providing them with to try to hook them back in and get them to stay and maintain their membership. The last thing here, providing valuable content. We talk about this in pretty much every webinar, whether it's publishing content on the website or even in these re-engagement emails that we're going to be sending out to our inactive members, we want to offer them something that's relevant and beneficial. If our website is focused on a particular industry or niche, we probably have a decent idea of who our members are, what they're looking for, what they want to get out of their membership on our website. And so if we can provide them with a little nugget of that in just this really short, simple re-engagement email, that could go a long way in piquing their interest. Again, something as simple as telling them, hey, see what you missed in the last month, and link out to a relevant podcast or video or article that was published on our website, anything like that. And again, we have a few examples of these emails coming up.
Yeah, creating that FOMO with that valuable content, that they're missing out on something, or they're not getting access to something that they easily can just click and get access to. We do have examples of some emails, but full disclosure, we did use ChatGPT for them. And what I wanted to do live on the webinar, if you guys want to use the raise your hand feature, we can go to ChatGPT right now and we can ask it to create some re-engagement emails for us live here on the webinar. All right, we see a good few hands up here. Okay, great. We can see, I see your hand up there, Colette. All right, and John, I see your hand up too. So let's go to ChatGPT here, and we'll start a new one. Always fun to play with. Looks like it wants me to log in here. Oh, there we go, we're logged in. So what we could do, this thing is amazing, and it's just gonna, I think it's a great way to get content creation ideas and things like that. So create an email to re-engage members of a membership website who have not logged in within 30 days. Make it funny, short, and provide a $50 credit incentive if they log in within the next 48 hours. Let's just see what it does with that. Okay. Where have you been? We miss you. And your funny cat memes. Okay. Dear member, we've noticed that you've been MIA from our membership website for the past 30 days. We hope you haven't been abducted by aliens or lost in a corn maze. We miss you and your hilarious cat memes, and we want you back. To sweeten the deal, we're offering a $50 credit incentive if you log in within the next 48 hours. Yes, you read that right. We'll give you 50 big ones just for gracing us with your presence again. So what do you say? Will you be our Valentine and come back to us? We promise we'll treat you right. With fresh content, engaging community, and of course, more cat memes. Click here to log in. There's the call to action there. Hurry, this offer won't last forever. We can say regenerate the response again. We'll do one more and then we'll move on to the rest of the tip of the week. We miss you and we have $50 with your name on it. Dear member, we hope this email finds you well and that you've been keeping busy with all the other amazing things life has to offer. But we have to admit, we've been feeling a bit lonely without you on our website. It's been 30 days since your last login and we miss your witty comments, insightful posts, and overall awesomeness, etc., etc. These could be even shorter. What's cool about this is you can say, write the same thing, but much, much shorter. And then, of course, you can modify this to actually match what your website is offering. There we go, much shorter. We miss you. Come back to our website within 48 hours and get $50 credit. Don't miss out. So that's as short as it can get, 2 lines there. So lots of fun with ChatGPT. And then one thing from this post, this slide that I wanted to mention, the personalizing the emails. I wanted to show you guys, if we go back into the admin area, and if we go to email templates, when you want to create a template or a newsletter or something to go out to members, when you're on this page, if we scroll down just a little bit, we do have these variables here. The first name, let me zoom in just a little bit. The user's first name, last name, full name, their company name, their phone number, and a wide variety of other variables that you can put into the template. So if you're not familiar with this, you can copy these and then you can say like, hi, first name. And then it would obviously fill in the first name with whatever the member's first name is in the database. So this is how we can create those personalized emails inside of the BD admin area here. You can mention their company, their location, maybe their top level category, and other pieces of relevant information that you can sprinkle into some of these emails here to come back to the website. I'll pass it back over to you, David.
That was great. Love seeing ChatGPT in action. I didn't realize how obsessed it is with cat memes, but those were great. So some incentivization tactics that we can use to bring those inactive members back to our website. Credits, discounts, free trials, those are probably the simplest, most obvious incentives that we can offer to these inactive members to try to bring them back, basically providing them with some sort of monetary savings for their membership within our community or any other upsells or products or services that we may be offering them. Could also provide them access to exclusive content or resources. Could also kind of think about this one a little bit out of the box. Maybe you're offering all of your members exclusive content. It's not necessarily only for the premium members or a certain type of member. We can still reiterate that the only way to access this content is by being a member, and you're a member, and we'd love to see you back on the website. And since you've been gone, this is the video that got the most views that you missed out on. This was our most recent podcast, whatever it may be that we think can pique their interest and bring them back. Can also extend invitations to members-only events or webinars. If we have a pretty tight-knit community, maybe a local one, maybe we want to do an in-person, face-to-face event. Or another simple way would just be doing an online webinar or get together, kind of like what we're doing here, both on GoToWebinar and on YouTube. So a couple different ways we could go about doing that. And then can also provide them with some rewards for completing certain actions. Maybe we want to start up, a really simple, basic affiliate program and say, hey, get rewarded for referring your friends and family. So when any of their referrals sign up and become a member, whether it's free or paid, however we want to structure it, they get some sort of reward. We can also give them something for completing their basic profile information, maybe $10 in free credits for, whatever they want to spend that on once they complete their profile. Or maybe also providing them with a month of free membership or a free ebook download for publishing their first post. There's a bunch of different ways we can go about it. It really depends on our community, what they're finding of value and what we're providing to them. But these are some basic kind of generic incentives that we can provide to members to try to reel them back in. Finish off here, going over the benefits of re-engaging inactive members. I think this is all pretty obvious to most of us at this point, but if we can re-engage our inactive members again, get ahead of the curve and try to reactivate those inactive members before they ultimately end up canceling, it'll end up leading to increased engagement and activity on the website. The more members that we have, that'll lead to an increase in revenue if we're going to be charging them subscription fees, or again, having some sort of upsells, whether it's charging for them to receive leads or publish posts, or if we're selling ebook downloads or any other sort of services. Re-engaging those inactive members will also lead to a lower churn rate, essentially improved member retention, lowering that cancellation rate essentially. It'll be also easier to acquire new members if we're able to reactivate our inactive members. As our community as a whole grows, it'll be easier to attract new members. We just kind of got to get the ball rolling, get that snowball made initially, and then give it a little push down the hill, gain some momentum. And as we gain that momentum, it'll be easier and easier to continue to grow our community and attract new members. And so overall, it'll have a positive impact on our community and network as a whole. The thing here is, again, trying to get ahead of the curve and identify our inactive members and prevent them from becoming canceled essentially at the end of it, and try to bring them back into our community, because at the end of the day, it's a lot more expensive to try to bring in new members than it is to save our inactive ones.
Yeah, really when we're operating a website with members, we have two marketing campaigns happening simultaneously. One is to attract new members. We always want those campaigns and engines working And then it's the retention ones, keeping existing members engaged, active. And I think that one is one that a lot of people don't focus on as much as the newer members. But after a certain tipping point, your existing members probably become more valuable than rapidly growing with newer members once you reach a certain size of your community. So keep that in mind. And as you're planning your membership business or community website, directory website, keep in mind that you should have two different channels of marketing. One is to appeal to your existing members, and one for new members and prospects that you're trying to attract. And then with that, we did do some sample emails here. And we're going to, after this replay, when we put this in the BD blog, we'll put copies of these emails here. But these are just more example emails that you can send to re-engage members who have been inactive. I'll quickly read these ones. It says, "Hi, member name. I noticed that's been a while since you last logged into our community. We hope everything is going well. Just wanted to remind you that we're here for you." It's good to create an emotional connection here. You can say, "We miss you. We're here for you." It doesn't have to be so robotic. So putting some emotion into these emails will go a long way. So it says, "We're here for you and have some great benefits you can take advantage of. Here are some things that you might have missed out on." So this is a FOMO, fear of missing out email. Some of the lists of benefits or features that are relevant to the member. Mention updates or new features that have been added to the website since their last visit. Or even spotlight another member who is potentially a competitor or in the same space or a fellow colleague. And when they see someone being spotlighted or a business being spotlighted, it's going to make them think that they want to be spotlighted, and that could bring them back to the site as well. You're truly a valuable part of our community and hope you'll come back to join us soon. Log back in today and let's catch up. So nice, simple email here. David, I'll let you take over this one here.
A little more unique with the subject line. Was it something we said? Again, trying to pique their interest a little bit. So, "Hi, member name. It's been a while since we've seen you around our community. I wanted to check in and see how you're doing." Another thing to point out here is in some parts, we are saying we this and we that, but in others, we're saying I. I wanted to check in and see how you're doing. Again, helps make it a little bit more personal, like we're having a one-on-one conversation. We've made some updates and changes recently that we think you'll love, including you can list some new features or improvements that you've made to your website or your community, and also mention some relevant incentives or discounts that we think would help the member come back to our website. Our members mean everything to us, so I hope you'll log back in soon and see what we've been up to. We're here to support you and help you grow your business in any way we can. Best, and then our name. In this case, the email would have been directed to probably professional members in business directory or something like that when we mention we're here to help you grow your business in any way we can.
And then lastly, just a small variation on this. So we want you back. Here's what you've missed. So, "Hi, John. Hope this email finds you well. It's been a while since you last logged into," and then you can mention the website name, "and we've been thinking about you. I wanted to remind you about some of the amazing benefits you've been missing out on, such as," and again, key features, mention testimonials or success stories from other members. There we go. So spotlighting other members as social proof. "We know life gets busy, but we don't want you to miss out on any of the opportunities that our website offers. Log back in today and see what you've been missing." So we'll share these email templates after the webinar when we post this in the blog, but ChatGPT, super fun to play around with, and you can give it really quirky instructions, and the outputs are pretty hilarious and cheeky.